Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this way.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Alrighty then.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 130. I'm your host, Tyler Singh. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm joined as always by our two co-hosts. Let's start with Graham. Graham, how are you today?
I am doing quite well. I don't know if I told you guys, but my furnace was down and out in my apartment for a while. So it was pretty cold, but the other day I came home to a nice warm apartment, and you don't realize how much you appreciate warmth until you're freezing and then you get warmth. But other than that, I did play some games. I played some NHL 19. I played some Overcooked 2, and a new game coming out, which is still in beta, and that is Fallout 76. The beta wasn't very long, so I only got to play, I think it was 2 hours. I don't even know. It went so fast.
I think you played like an hour and a half, but
an hour and a half. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that in a second because I know our other co-hosts played it as well. Let's say hi to Steven. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Unlike Graham, I didn't have to pay to get heat in my house because it's been 90 degrees here this week. So that's been absolutely wonderful. I've had to pay to cool it down. So I'll trade you some of the heat for some of the cold there, Graham.
Yeah, no, that's a fair idea.
That's a fair trade. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really played much this week. I got Madden in. Actually, over the weekend, I completed the monster set with a little bit of money spent, and I got Calvin Johnson and immediately sold him, and then picked up Michael Vick and Randy Moss to get like their 92 overall cards because I had their power up cards or whatever. But I haven't really wanted to play much else because I was really looking forward to Paw Patrol, and Paw Patrol just came out. And no, I'm just kidding. Well, it did just come out, but
yeah,
there's a game that comes out in a couple hours from right now, from when we're recording on Thursday. A couple hours from now that I've been looking forward to, and it's basically made me not want to play anything else. And unfortunately, I have a really long work day tomorrow, so I don't get to play, and I can't take it off either, which sucks. Otherwise, I think I might, or I'd try. Anywho, I'll be at work. These mean people will be sending me pictures of their play session because they're rude and they're hurtful. But no, I'm excited to get my hands on it tonight. I'll play it a couple hours tonight, and I'll play it some more this weekend. But yeah, I haven't really played much else. Tyler, what about you? I know you've kind of been hyped for this too. Have you been able to play some games?
I have not a whole lot. This week's honestly kind of been like a Netflix catching up week because I'm kind of like you in the sense that when we get so close to something amazing, like that's all I want to play. But I did play some stuff. Played some Forza Horizon 4. Played some Madden. And I'm having fun with the Halloween, the monsters challenges and stuff like that. Forza Horizon 4 is always fun, pretty much. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to this, unnamed game that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But before we get to that, you guys both played the Fallout 76 beta, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on it so far. So we understand. Like, there's a chance it's not a totally finished product, but this is the whole game. So, I think it more or less is, and progress carries over, so you're probably not even going to have to re-download it. I think this is it. So, or at least that start.
No, you have to re-download it because the beta is a separate game.
You're right. Okay, So take that back, my bad. So you have to re-download, but then the save file, I'm sure, will carry over. All right.
Yeah.
So, first of all, two questions for you guys. So, one, are you content with how many hours they've given? Because keep in mind, like, before it started, they said they might put a day off in between just to kind of gather data and make adjustments and whatnot. But it's going to end up being 3 days in between for the people on Xbox One that had, that week's early access. So, first, that question. And then second, just general thoughts on the game that you've, as much as you played it. Go ahead, Steven, go first.
Okay, it's because I'm the bigger Fallout fan here. Yeah, that it doesn't like make me mad because I was aware that this could be a chance, but it is a little annoying because it's like, was there really that much of a benefit to pre-ordering it on the Xbox over the PlayStation? Assuming, not like me, I was getting this on Xbox no matter what, just because, the Xbox One X runs games better. It seems to be more focused, like Red Dead is with PlayStation. It seems like Fallout's going the more Xbox, route. I don't know if they'll get exclusive content or content early, but I just feel like Xbox probably the best place to play Fallout. But it is a little annoying that it was only for 6 hours total. Actually, it was 8 because they did add Sunday. So it's it seems to be 8 hours more just by pre-ordering on the Xbox. And I don't know if that's worth it to some. I hope no one pre-ordered it on the Xbox just to get to play early, even though they prefer playing PlayStation. I maybe cancel my Xbox pre-order and switch. As far as general thoughts, it feels a lot like the Fallout version of ESO. If you're used to Fallout, collecting the certain amount of caps you get or roaming and stealing from the wasteland, and I think you almost always got a gun in the vault, right? In the previous Fallout games, at least 3, New Vegas, and 4. I'm not talking about 2 and 1. You don't I guess spoilers. Sorry if you consider that a spoiler, but it feels a lot like ESO felt. Like the comparison, ESO to the mainline Elder Scrolls games, and then what I've played of Fallout 76 to the Fallout games. And I don't know if I'm going to like it that much. And the fact that there's no NPCs, well, we're going to see. I'm debating whether or not I want to cancel my pre-order and wait for reviews. I think it'll be fun with people. I didn't get a chance to play with people. I played by myself. That might not be the best way to play this game. If you're going for a solo experience, I don't know if you're going to have fun. You might be better off just downloading that mod on PC, the new California mod, I think it was. Graham, you might be able to correct me here if I mess something up there. But I don't know. It ran smooth. I can give it that. There wasn't too many glitches I didn't see, which was a good sign because there were probably a lot of people in. I mean, there were a lot of people in my play session. There's some things I worry about. I don't want to ramble on too much before Graham goes, so I'll give him a chance to speak here. But the play session wasn't bad, but I don't know if the game is going to be. I was hoping it wouldn't be like ESO was to Elder Scrolls, but I think it's going to be Fallout 76 to Fallout in the same way. I hope that makes sense. Graham, thoughts?
So Graham, before you go real quick, our community's been really torn over this game.
Yes,
and
I've noticed.
In Discord, there's been a lot of conversation about it. We've had people cancel their pre-orders. We've had some people defending it to the end. I'm not a huge Fallout fan. You are, and that's why I wanted to give you the last word on this. So, kind of, what are your thoughts? You only played an hour and a half of it, but just super early impressions. What are you thinking about it? Is it anywhere near cancel pre-order status for you?
No, it's definitely not. Like you said, I only got to play it for a short amount of time. It was a pretty big tease. I did run into other people. I got to the point where I'm like, okay, when I hit level 5, that's when they could start attacking me. So I'm kind of once I hit level 4, I don't know what I'm gonna feel like. Am I ready to level up? I kind of enjoy doing my own thing. But I know that is the purpose of the game. You got to reach level 5. And I know if you play with other people, it's going to be a total different experience from playing solo. Now, me being a big Fallout fan, those games have always been solo. And I like just doing my own thing and stuff like that. And the thing I like about it as well is you can pause the game. But because this is online all the time, you cannot pause the game. So a few times I'm going to do something. So I'm oh, I'll pause it. And then I hear myself being attacked. And I even got killed by dogs because I was just looking and I'm oh, I'll just pause. And then I'm oh, wait, can't do this. So it does take time to get used to it. Like I said, this is early impressions. I didn't run into any bugs or issues whatsoever. I see that they have made some improvements on just overall little things here and there. I'm not going to get too specific and stuff like that. But But yeah, like it does feel like kind of like an ESO, like an MMO, like Steven was playing or whatever like that. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Like I'm pretty sure the game is what Bethesda intended to be. But until people get like a lot of hours into it and do things together and maybe try to get one of those nuclear codes. But the map looks really cool. Like I'm definitely interested to explore it further and find different stuff and find loot. Like as soon as I came out of Vault, I was surprised to be like attacked by little mini robots right away. And another thing that he added, I noticed, I don't think it was in the other ones. If you melee with a gun so many times, your gun will just break, so you'll no longer have a gun. So like right off the hop, like I was like low on ammo or no ammo and just running around and scavenging and stuff like that. And it seems like with the other Fallouts, it had like survival mode, so you can turn on like getting hungry or thirsty and stuff like that. Well, this one you have no control over it, so it's definitely forcing you like that. And I don't know if that's what people want, right? Some people don't like those options. So I'm interested to see how it goes over with the community, and I definitely want to try and play with other people in the community and just see different ways they play it. But I'm definitely excited for it, so there's no way I'm canceling it. Neither one of my editions, because I got the Power Armor edition, of course.
Do you feel like it's a game better suited for like a party of 4 people rather than just going solo?
It probably is, but personally, I would rather it be the solo thing. So that's why I think I'm going to gravitate more towards Red Dead when, like, say my friends aren't online or I don't feel like playing with them or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I think it's kind of good. Like, it kind of worked out because if, say, Fallout 5 was coming out and Red Dead 2, then I probably say I'm just going to play Fallout 5 or whatever like that, right? Just get my single player experience from that. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess, how, Fallout 76 is going to kind of deter me away from not having that single player, so then I'll play Red Dead 2. Okay.
Well, sounds good. So you guys both had some time with the game, and I'm sure you're both going to play it again before it comes out. I probably will as well. Well, I shouldn't say I'm going to play the beta because we'll see how far I get into Red Dead this weekend, but I definitely plan on playing it on release.
There's no way I'm playing the beta this weekend. Yeah. Sorry, there's one that's more important.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm sure I'll play it when it comes out at release. So, all right. Let's get through the business, all that stuff before we head into news. So we'd love to have you join our community, and there's a few different ways to do that. So we'd love to have you join Facebook. That's the Gaming Hub Forums on Facebook. And we also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TXH Gaming Hub. So TXH Gaming Hub on Twitch. From either of those places, Twitch or Discord, or Twitch or Facebook, sorry, you can get a link to our Discord channel and join that. That's where a lot of the chat in our community takes place. We've got a lot of active people in there, so feel free to check that out. We'd love to have you join there. We also have a YouTube channel, the Gaming Hub Podcast. Just search that on YouTube. And we have a Twitter at TXH Gaming Hub there. If you'd like to help support us, we'd really appreciate that. And it's not without benefit. There are some definite benefits to helping support us, but there's a couple different ways to do it. So on Twitch, if you are an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. If you choose to use it on us, we'd really appreciate that. It helps us grow, get better, provide better content, and better giveaways for the community. If not, use it on someone, help them grow and achieve their goals. Also, we have a Patreon page, patreon.com/gaminghub. And if you pledge at the $5 higher level on Patreon, you are entered to win a monthly giveaway for $60 in gift cards to spend on whichever console you choose. We announced our winner last week for the month of October and already got him his PlayStation cards. So we'd love to have you do that as well. And special thank you to Matt, who came in on Patreon at the $25 level this week. Thank you so much, Matt. We appreciate it more than you know. You are awesome and can't thank you enough. So definitely thank you for that. All right. Oh, and then also our Patreon clue, extra clue for our holiday giveaway will be up by tomorrow, probably tonight actually. I think I'll post it as soon as we're done recording on Thursday night. So if you're a patron, we have a holiday giveaway going on for everybody in the community, where we're going to announce clues once a week for something involved with a video game. Could be a place, could be a person, could be a thing, could be whatever. Okay? Could be a game itself, could be a console. We're going to announce a clue every single week, and the first person to correctly guess the right answer, the thing we're thinking of, wins a Nintendo Switch worth $300 just in time for Christmas, so that's pretty awesome. And thank you to our community, because you're the ones that allow that to happen by helping support us. It's the biggest giveaway we've ever done. But if you support us on Patreon at any level, you get an extra clue every single month. The October one will be up probably tonight, no later than tomorrow, which will be Friday. And you also get an extra guess, because everybody's limited to 2 guesses, so people don't just spam with anything they can think of. Patrons get 3. So there's some benefit to coming in and helping support the show as well. All right. Anything else, guys, before we head into news?
No.
All right. So let's do that. And let's head into news.
In the news.
And we'll start with a game that, I heard some people are really excited about.
No.
Yeah. In fact, let's just dismiss all that. The countdown's on, guys. As of right now, we're recording. It's 9:27 p.m. Central Time. That means I have 1 hour and 33 minutes until I can get my hands on what looks to be the game of the generation.
Generation. Ooh. You heard it.
Red Dead Redemption 2. I've been so excited for this game. I know, Steven, you have as well. Graham, you're a latecomer to the crowd, but welcome. We appreciate you developing taste in games.
It's good to be here, I must say.
Yeah. So, I can't wait. And I won't lie, we're recording this episode and we love doing this, right? But I think we'd all be lying, especially me and Steven, if we said we weren't thinking about playing that at all tonight.
I'm trying my best not to, because I don't want to think about it. An hour and a half, this might be the longest hour and a half of my life.
So the wait is almost over, and by the time everybody's listening to this, most likely the wait will be over for you, and you'll have probably played it if you're looking forward to getting it. But the reviews are out. The embargo on reviews lifted on Thursday. Our own site, the xboxhub.com, posted a review 5 out of 5. And what's really impressive about that, Neil wrote it. He did a fantastic job, so shout out to him. Great job on the review. This isn't normally his type of game. He sort of reluctantly accepted it for numerous reasons that are all behind the scenes stuff. But he runs the site and all that. He gave it 5 out of 5. And said it delivers in pretty much every single way you can possibly imagine, and that he said it delivers in ways that few games before it ever have, and very few probably ever will. That's not the only glowing review, guys. IGN, 10 out of 10. Game Informer, 10 out of 10. Metacritic. It is currently sitting at 98 for the Xbox One and 97 for the PlayStation 4.
98, eh? Wow.
Yep.
You want to know what that beats, Graham? I'll give you a hint.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Barely, but it does.
96?
97.
97.
There is one word that you see in almost every single review across the board, and that is masterpiece. You see quite a few places saying this is the game of this generation, and that it is a must-play game. How often do you hear that stuff, guys? Steven, I'm going to go to you first here. I looked at the scores because we wanted to talk about it on the show. I've stayed away from videos. I've stayed away from video reviews. I've stayed away from even reading the stuff, although I did read one thing that we'll share a little bit of in a little bit after you guys get done with your thoughts, but did this like amp? Is it possible to amp up your excitement for this anymore? And if so, did it?
No, it's not possible, but it definitely hasn't dropped down, and that was important because we were talking about something. I think we were talking about Kingdom Hearts actually, and you were like, "I hope that game doesn't disappoint you because you're so hyped for it," which is true. And I think it's the same for me and you for this game. We were so hyped, so the chances of us like most games don't reach their hype levels in terms of quality. Most games, there are some that do, and at least for like the big hype games, I should say. I should specify that. Like games you really aren't that hyped for can reach the hype levels very easily, right? But the games that you're like super pumped for due to marketing or whatever have you, don't reach the levels most of the time. But this game seems to have reached it. I haven't played it yet, so I can't speak for certain. But all the reviews mean that I'm just on it. And I watched IGN's video review because I wanted to watch a video review on the game. And it didn't spoil anything for me at all because they did a very good job of only showing gameplay stuff, which was, thank God, to be honest with you. Like, they showed gameplay, like, footage, but they didn't show anything in context. So the gameplay looks amazing. I know I'm going to love this game. I can't wait for an hour and a half from now. I'm super pumped. I'm probably going to play until I shouldn't play because I'm going to be super tired tomorrow. But, if I have to work all day, I'll be tired. That's the price I'm willing to pay. Graham, it sounded like you had something to say there. I heard.
Yeah, Graham, go ahead.
I forget what point you made, but no, I'm definitely excited for this. The reviews, you just you didn't really compare it, but you said Breath of the Wild got a 97, this got a 98. Up until now, Breath of the Wild has been my number one game. Nothing's really come close to that. So I'm definitely interested in this game for that reason. And yeah, I know what I said about you watched the review. So normally if I know I'm getting the game, I don't watch the video review. Like kind of if I'm on like the fence whether I'm going to get it or if it's out and I'm wondering like how good it is or something like that. So I would watch the video review on it. Maybe later I'll do that. I just want to like go in and play it on bias. Like I see the numbers, so I know it's going to be great and stuff like that. So, but I'm not judging. To each their own. If you want to watch the review, that's fine. But I did watch some gameplay videos like we were talking about before, which got me excited. And I love the seamlessness of going from game to like a cutscene. Like that's when you can tell like they're pushing the next gen, like not to its limit, but they're making good use of it. So I'm definitely interested to see this, especially how it's going to look on my 1X on my 4K HDR TV. I bet it's just going to be stunning. Hopefully I'm not too like enthralled and lost that I forget to grab some of those screenshots because there's going to be some amazing stuff. Because like in comparison, when I played Breath of the Wild, like the Switch makes it really easy to take pictures while you're playing. So there's a few times where I'm like climbing and I see like a background, something really cool, and I would just take like shots like that. So I probably foresee me doing this as well. We'll see how I treat my horse. Some people might watch me like, well, he's not treating his horse too well, but we'll see. I like that, and basically, I'm going to mess around with it. I want to see what the game has to offer. What if I go this long without taking a bath, just to see how people react. Like, I love how the game has all these little nuances and stuff like that, and I look forward to just exploring and stuff like that. And I might just do stupid stuff and just like save and go back to my save. Definitely hyped for it though.
All right, and Graham, I'm glad you kind of brought up kind of the nuance of the game, the details, because Zelda was a really detailed game. In my opinion, it doesn't come close to this in terms of detail. So I want to share just a few little minor details. None of these are spoilers, but if you don't want to know anything about the game, you might want to skip forward. So apologies to Stephen and Graham here because you got to listen to these. But I'm just going to throw out a few as examples. So Arthur's going to visibly lose or gain weight depending on how much food he eats.
That's cool. That's
That
cool.
is. They suggest you need to carry 2 different sets of clothing with you, one for cold weather, one for warm weather, because it does impact what happens to your character as you play. So you could go on a mission and go from something warm weather into more cold, and you'll need to be able to change clothes on the fly to adapt to that.
Kind of like Breath of the Wild. I like that.
If you pet a dog, that dog won't bark at you the next time you show up in the town. That's like insane amount of detail. So, Graham, you brought up like messing around and like getting dirty and stuff. So, if you're dirty or bloody or just like gross in general, people are going to stay away from you. And there's a ton more, and this is off of like IGN's Wikipedia page or wiki page over the game. I'm not going to share all of them because part of the fun is kind of discovering all this stuff yourself and being like, oh, that's awesome that actually is added into the game. But I'll say it first, then I'll let you guys go again. Like, not only congratulations to Rockstar on an amazing game, but also like thank you for delivering with a game that ultimately will probably define this generation and is something so detailed and so immersive that it's something we probably couldn't even imagine in a video game 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
So I want to turn over to you guys just for your thoughts on the detail of the game, and also I want to pose this question. Is it even necessary? Like, Steven, we talked about this earlier today in chat. Is it even necessary to have the Game Awards this year?
Yes, for the other things, but not for Game of the Year.
No.
Game of the Year is this game, like, hands down. Like, there's no doubts about it. I'm sure someone's like, well, what about God of War? And yes, God of War is great, but God of War came out in April, and it's the same with all these awards. New is always better, as Barney Stinson would say. It always go to the most recent game. It's going to get this game. Red Dead Redemption 2 will more than likely be the Game of the Year for everything that gives out Game of the Years. And definitely the Game of the Year awards, which is surprising because it's not a Nintendo game or a game coming to a Nintendo system, but
Yeah. Graham?
I guess Smash is coming, but
Yeah.
probably not getting tens across the board.
Well, even if those game gets a 10, like, I don't think it's going to compare. And like Steve brought up a good point. Like, the last thing that you see is usually the thing that sticks with you. Mm-hmm. So I think God of War has like kind of been lost now. Like, God of War was a huge game for me. It actually got me by a PS4 Pro God of War edition and stuff like that. And since that game, I have not turned on my PS4. It's just been sitting there. So
and I will say, Graham, you're missing out with Spider-Man. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Flat
Yeah.
out.
And there's a game in the releases that I'll tell you that should make you want to turn it on again.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Spider-Man, I'd like to get to it. I'm not going to say I'm going to get to it because my backlog has just been filling up and filling up and filling up, and I'm soon just going to collapse with all the pressure.
Yeah.
But as far as now, Red Dead 2 will be taking front center. So maybe Spider-Man later. Like I said, I don't know because Fallout 76 is coming and the whole onslaught's going to be coming, right? So I'm going to have my online game, I guess, with Fallout 76. I'm going to have my single-player Red Dead. I'm going to have my shooter with Battlefield 5. So, like, I'm going to be pretty busy. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
See, excuse me, I think, like, with Spider-Man, like, I had a ton of fun with that game. It was just a really fun experience. But I wasn't in awe of it. Like, it wasn't a masterpiece. This one looks like it might be. And looks like it is. And that's the type of game I haven't played in a long, long time. Maybe since GTA 5. Where I can say, I'm like awe of what they accomplished here. This is a true masterpiece of a game. And I think, Steven, beyond even Game of the Year, like, I think that's a given at this point. And just because I want to throw out, just because I'm sure there's people, like, screaming at us right now, it's not always the last thing you remember, because two of the most recent winners, Breath of the Wild came out in March, and Witcher 3 came out in, I think, May or June.
May.
Yeah. So, it's not always that.
No, you're right.
But I
Good
think...
examples.
But I think God of War, as good as it is, doesn't hold up to this. And there's no shame in that. That's okay. Like, God of War is still better than anything Xbox has put out all year in terms of exclusives, because as good as Forza is and as much fun as it is, it's still a niche type of game. It's not a game of the year type of game. Whereas God of War kind of is, in terms of genre. And, because when's the last time we saw, like, a sports or racer win game of the year? If ever.
Never. I mean, God of War is better than anything Xbox has put out on this generation, much alone this year.
Yeah,
Like,
that's probably true. And you could say probably the same thing for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Persona 5, I'd make the case.
So, we've talked about that before. There's no doubt PlayStation has the best exclusives. And PlayStation has kind of the exclusive agreement, so to speak, with Rockstar and Red Dead. But Eurogamer put out an article today where they compared the games on all the systems, and they said the best place to play Red Dead Redemption 2, where it looks the best, it plays the best, it performs the best, is on the Xbox One X. So how fired up are you guys to be able to play it on that?
It's not surprising. I mean, the Xbox One X is more powerful than PS4 Pro. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, really. But, I'm pumped. I can't wait to play this in 4K. I'm not going to be streaming it, sorry, because I don't want to not play it in 4K.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it is. Maybe the second time through or something, or online I'll play, but not the campaign. I want that in full 4K experience. I joked about it with you, Tyler, but I don't even want to be in a party with you guys while I play. Like, I want to be fully immersed. Because, like, I was trying to play a game this weekend, or at least past weekend, and Tyler just kept talking about random stuff. And I'm like, Tyler, I can't focus on the game. Be quiet. You know? And I didn't say that. But, I mean...
No.
But it was just making me think, like, I didn't care that much because of what I was playing. But in Red Dead, I will care.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys, if you're not quiet, like, whew.
Sometimes I just turn you guys down. If I know there's, like, a cutscene and stuff.
Yeah,
no, Graham, you're just like, I'm going to go make dinner, and you're gone for like 16 hours.
So, where, in Iceland?
Yeah. Graham, flies.
I'm not saying I'm not making dinner. It's just there's a bunch of other stuff going on, too, and then dinner...
Oh, no. I know, it's hard. You got to get to the airport, fly to Reykjavik to get your food. And...
It's genuine food.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on, because, we can't dig into the game. None of us have played it yet. We'll do that a little bit next week, and we'll have a special Patreon-exclusive episode where we talk about kind of our thoughts on what we've played so far. And that'll probably be next weekend. But let's move on. So the NPDs for September are in, and the NPD group, again, is the group that measures all the sales numbers for video games and consoles, stuff like that. And Spider-Man for September was the top-selling game, and here's what's really impressive about that. The game had 37% more in launch month sales than the combined launch month sales of all Spider-Man games dating back to 1995. That's insane.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
No, well, some of the Spider-Man games have been pretty bad, but some actually weren't.
Yeah, but the consoles seem to be in more homes than ever before.
True.
Just I'm not pulling that out of fact, but also the game's actually good. Like good, not like just not bad. Because there's a difference.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point that, where we're at in the stage of console life cycle here, we're kind of towards the end. Whereas some Spider-Man games, like there was another Spider-Man game released this generation, but it was super early. So it's not going to get the sales that this one will. So that plays in as well. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey was third. We're not going to go like one by one down the top 10, but we're just going to call it kind of the big ones. And that had a double-digit percentage sales growth over Origins from last year, so that's impressive as well. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Graham, a game you were really hyped for coming into the fall season, that was fifth in its release month. but it had the second highest dollar sales in the franchise. And Forza Horizon 4 was 7th, the highest launch month sales in series history, but I do want to call that out real quick. Most Forza Horizon games in the past, or Forza games in general, have come out like end of August-ish. Not early as they did this time around. So, but it did.
You can make that point, but none of those also. Well, yeah, I don't think any of them had come to Game Pass before. So, like in launch month, so that's a hit against Forza Horizon 4. I don't think they're counting those. So that's even more impressive then.
Yeah. And then finally, with NPDs, Sony sold more consoles in September than in any month since 2014. So you got to think that's largely driven by Spider-Man. But, I mean, that's still, this late in the life cycle, really impressive.
It's got to be the combined effort of Spider-Man, their Call of Duty, like, because don't they have the Call of Duty, like, not exclusivity, but, like, advertising rights and Red Dead. So you get all three. You know they're coming. Sony does a good job marketing to make it even seem like those games are only coming to a Sony system, like they did with, what was it, Battlefield 1. So I bet that has something to do with it.
But,
wrong, but
it was Star Wars Battlefront, but yeah.
That's right. Didn't I say that?
You said Battlefield 1. But that's all right.
I meant Battlefront.
I know.
You got Battle right.
Yeah, the battle part is right, so good job. So on the note of sales, since we're in the financial report right now, Microsoft released its quarter one financials for fiscal year 19, and Xbox hardware revenue grew 95% over the same period last year. That's impressive, but again, I want to call that out because this time last year, everybody was kind of hanging in there and waiting because the One X launched, the first week of November? So nobody was buying anything, console-wise. They were waiting until the One X came. It is impressive, though, that the console they've sold the most of, numbers-wise, is the One X, over even the One S. That's pretty impressive. Xbox hardware revenue grew 95% over the same period last year. And currently they have 57 million Xbox Live users versus 53 million last year. So I don't know. I mean, good news for them, I guess. They still won't say how many consoles they've actually sold, which means they're really far behind PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, or, I mean, because it's got to be that, because if not, they'd probably announce them. Did they release them on the 360? Do you guys remember? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, then they're getting absolutely decimated then.
And they did release them early on this generation until it became very clear that they were like a 2 to 3 to 1, between 2 and 3 to 1 margin behind. But good news for Xbox fans. If you like playing Xbox titles on PC, Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC in 2019. They didn't specify like a window or anything for that. But Xbox Game Pass is coming to PC in 2019, and it should include all the same stuff it does on console, where you get new first-party releases, day and date, just included with Game Pass if you have it.
You think it'll be the same games, though?
Yeah, because they've already said that Halo Infinite's coming to PC.
No, I don't mean first party. I mean all the other stuff.
Oh, Siri thought I was talking to her. That's interesting. But, yeah, I mean, no guarantees on that. I didn't see anything where they specified on that. I might have missed it, but yeah, I don't know. Good question.
All
right. So, Graham, something you're really excited for, Battlefield 5.
Yes.
And something you're even more excited for is Battlefield 5's Battle Royale mode, Firestorm.
Incorrect.
And that's, unfortunately, not coming until March 2019. So the game releases next month, right before Thanksgiving here in the States. But You won't be able to play Firestorm until March of 2019. Graham, have you canceled your pre-order yet?
No, and I don't know if I pre-ordered it yet, to be honest with you. But I did not pre-order this game, or I have no intentions of pre-ordering it or getting it because of the Battle Royale mode. Like, it might be interesting. Like, there's too much competition out there for Battle Royale. I think people who want to play Battle Royale as their games are going to choose between. And like Battlefield, to me, that game is big open feet of vehicles and like conquests and big long like battles like that. So like I might try it. I really don't think I'll be like, man, I want to play this mode a lot. So I'm going to get my friends, I mean you guys, to play. Because you guys love battle royales as well, and we have one big battle royale party. But no, like I'm definitely, it can be delayed or whatever. I don't know if it's delayed, but they're probably just thinking they don't want to launch it with the base game. And was Black Ops like this too? Was the battle royale right away, or did it come?
Right
it was right away. Yeah. So unless people are really looking forward to battle royale mode, which I'm not, I'm okay with this. What about you guys?
Well, Battlefield doesn't want to launch anything with their base game with the amount of content they're launching for day one. I mean, there's 8 maps, which I think is pretty weak, and I was looking for it, and I can't say it's confirmed, so but I'm gonna say it anyways because I want to. Like I read somewhere that it was there was only like 3 campaign missions or 3 stories because they're now doing stories. It's not a campaign; it's like 3 like individual stories. I think that's pretty terrible. Like 8 maps and 3 stories, like that's not a full game. And you're charging $60 for it. And then Blackouts, or not Blackout, but Battle Royale is coming out in until March 2019. Yeah, I'm gonna go pass. Call of Duty's gonna be the better game this year.
Question for you though. How much of that, like the number of maps, all that stuff, how much of that do you think is driven by the fact that the DLC is gonna be free?
I mean, that's true.
Whereas in Call of Duty, it's not. And I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying, is that a strategy of theirs where they're like, well, we can come out with a little less at first because everything's free afterward?
That's probably what their line of thinking is, but I mean, I don't know if I can get behind that. Like, I think the first map's slated for December, so it's not that far after, like, their first DLC. I forgot the name of it. But I think it's coming in December was what I read online. So I guess it's not that far behind. But I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to pull me away from Call of Duty, because Call of Duty this year is so much fun. And it actually has Battle Royale. And it has a Battle Royale that, minus the tick rate being so poor, it's a pretty fun mode, and I don't like Battle Royale games. And, you know, Call of Duty is just a better series in general anyways, but...
And Battlefield?
Yes.
That's not...
Well, that's opinion. I'm definitely more of a Battlefield person, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So, alright. Last week we talked about kind of working conditions in the video game industry, right? In terms of hours worked and all that stuff. So this week, Jason Schreier, fantastic video game journalist from Kotaku, posted a long and super well done article about those conditions specifically at Rockstar. And Steven, I know you kind of had some reaction to this and wanted to share that here. So go ahead.
I did. So the first thing I was thinking of when I was reading it was like, I was at school and I was reading it on my way to class, and I kind of had like, not an epiphany, but it sunk in. Last week I was kind of hard on the video game industry for this, but I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't have that many, I don't know, relationships or reasons that I wouldn't be able to work. And if I was working on something that I was so passionate about, like video games, if I was into that industry, and you assume that a lot of people that work in video game industry are passionate about making games, I'd be probably willing to work 60 to 80 hours a week. I say that now, you know, you never know for sure until you actually do it. Mm-hmm. But everyone, like Tyler, you brought this up, and I think it was a great point. And you said that like when people think 60 to 80 hours a week, they think of what they do and they don't want to do their job for 60 to 80 hours a week. And that's fine. There's a lot of jobs I wouldn't want to do for 60 to 80 hours, even if like that was my job. I can think of one or two in my past that I wouldn't want to do for 60 to 80 hours a week. But if there was a job that I was super passionate about, I think I'd be willing to do it. So, I mean, I'm not saying that these people should like be happy that they've been like kind of forced, especially if some of the things in the article were true, like kind of coming in on a Saturday just to look like you're working rather than actually working. I always hated that. The idea of looking busy. That's so stupid. And that's ridiculous. But if you're working, I can understand why some people have we're working more than 40 to 50 hours a week, because when you're programming, you just kind of want to keep going sometimes.
And Steven, you have a unique view on this because, you know, as you started like college, you originally wanted to do this, right?
Yeah, that is correct. I did think I found something I was even more passionate about, but I did think I kind of wanted to work in programming and especially in the video game industry. I was a computer science major for a while. And it's not that I don't like programming. I had quite a bit of fun with it. It was very fun, but again, I just found something I like so much better and I switched, and I'm happy I did. But yeah, I just, it's a great article. You should definitely go read it. And then you can ask us questions on it if you want. We're more than happy to add them into the question block to read at the end of the show if you want to know anything specific from us. That's a little pitch there. Did you guys have any extra thoughts on the article?
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is this. Like, different people are wired different ways, right? So I've worked with people that, like, no matter what, they love work, right? And it's kind of how they define themselves. So they have no problem working 50, 60, 70 hours a week and coming in on days off and all that stuff. Some people are not wired that way. A lot of people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But like a leader in any organization, business, whatever, it's sports or whatever it is, right? A leader knows how to tap into all of their people. But I feel like sometimes that doesn't happen because I can draw from my own experience, like in the professional world, and I can say that oftentimes the people that are wired to say, hey, I just love work, right? They're the ones who get promoted into the lead positions because they show that they're, quote, super committed and all that good stuff. The problem with that, and they earn it, that's cool, good for them. The problem with that, though, is that they often, once they get in those positions, expect everyone else to see it the exact same way they do. And if that's the case, that's wrong. Because being a good leader is about getting everyone on your team to perform the best they can, which means taking care of them and making them feel valued and part of the team and all that good stuff, right? And I feel like if, you know, the whole thing, like you said, Steven, if they are just there on a Saturday because certain people want to see them be there, I've personally been in situations like that before.
Oh, me too.
And it sucks. And it not only does it suck from the standpoint of losing time away, but it also makes me lose a lot of trust in the leadership I have above me.
Oh, and it kills morale.
Yep. So I suddenly don't trust what they say as much. And maybe not suddenly, but gradually over time, right? But it hurts that sort of relationship as well, which is really important. That said, like I said, there are certain people that are wired a certain way to just want to work like forever on it. But, you know, kind of to each their own, but don't hold everybody to that standard. Graham, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to elaborate too much, but like, just say, like people say, if you really love what you do, then it's not really a job. And like I said, at first you might get in there like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, but maybe 2 or 3 months, your attitude changes. So it's always like different case scenario, and like some people have family lives and some people, they just don't want to do anything else, right? Or they're just that driven or whatever. So just to say, cutthroat, like this is how it is, and like forced, and like I don't agree with that. But it's tough, and I know as more things become more familiar and people talk about it, then things change for the better and stuff like that. And people are not as afraid as they used to be to talk because they're afraid to lose their job and stuff like that. So it's I never want to see anybody like lose their job because they're not doing what work demands of them. So I think there's a lot of positive coming out from this. So I'm good for that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you lose your job because you suck at what you do, then that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you lose your job because you're not willing to put on the show for everybody, like, no matter, regardless of how good you are, that's a different story altogether. So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
real quick, just in case you're one of these people that, like, if you read the article and like you're thinking about like boycotting, or you heard about it, you may not have read the article, but you heard about anything about like boycotting like Red Dead Redemption 2 because of it.
Don't do that.
That like the employees said, like, even if they complained about it, like, don't do that because one, their bonuses are tied to sales in a lot of cases. So like you're hurting the employees more than you're helping them there. And two, I mean, all in all, like, video games are art. It's not just like, I don't know, like a soda or something you buy at the store that you consume and you're done. Like, it's something that if it's good, which in all cases it seems to be very, very, very good, it's going to stick with you for a while. And they want people to see their game. So boycotting in this situation may not be the best idea. It may just be better to put pressure vocally and like on their webpage or whatever if you want to see the system change. That's how everything I read seemed to be the case, that what they were saying. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out.
Yeah, kind of a thing where it's like, don't punish them right now for what they did in the past. Push for change going forward, right?
Yeah, and you're hurting the employees as much as the company.
Yeah. And, like we talked about it last week, I doubt any of us would be able to say that we would just not buy this game, right?
Yes.
So, there's that too. There's a little bit of hypocrisy in that, and I can admit to that. But I would prefer that it not cost people their passion to deliver something amazing. But that said, and this is the last thing I'll say, and we'll move on, is you see these developers like at E3 and whatever, or when a game is released, and they do interviews, and no matter how much time they put in and how exhausted they are, at the end they're just super proud of what it is.
Yeah.
And reward that. Reward that for them, reward that for you, all of it. So, yeah, don't punish the people that put in like so much time, so much effort, and all that just to make a point. That's not going to do anything. All right. Let's move on to the next story. But before we do that, I think it's a good time right here to give out our next clue. What do you guys think?
That's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is the next clue in our holiday giveaway, and if you're brand new to the show, we're giving away a Nintendo Switch for the holiday season. And we're giving away a clue every single week for something that we have in mind from the world of video games. Could be a person, could be a thing, could be a place, could be anything. Could be a game, console, whatever. And if you are the first one to correctly guess what that is, and the only way to submit answers is on our Facebook and Discord. We won't accept anything else any other way. Email answers, whatever. We won't accept them. There is a Google Docs form to fill out, or Google Forms form to fill out on there, where you submit responses. If you're the first one to correctly guess it, you win a Nintendo Switch. So this is, the fourth week, guys? The fourth clue?
Correct.
Yes.
And that is, good luck surviving me. So again, good luck surviving me is the clue for this week. And if you're a patron or become a patron, you'll get one extra clue per month. So you get a total of 15, up to 15 instead of 12. And you get an extra guess as well, totaling amount of 3 guesses rather than 2. Because everyone's limited to 2 guesses. So we don't get spammed with everything you can possibly think of. But again, last time our clue is good luck surviving me for this week. Alright. So up next, guys, Jade Raymond, the founder of Motus Studios, announced she's leaving the company and ultimately leaving EA because of that. She led development on the campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And, Steven, you said she was involved in an unnamed Star Wars game in development, the one that Amy Hennig was working on prior to her exit. And you said that she had moved on to Microsoft. I didn't see that, but what do you think the impact is on this with EA? Do you think they just shut this project down altogether?
It does seem like it. Like, that's 2 pretty big names. I mean, I'm not going to say, like, I think she was, like, the lead person on that game. The lead producer on that game. So, like, that's not a good sign. That's another Star Wars game that's not getting made. This time it's now EA's fault, not whoever it was for the other one, the Star Wars, like, 1717, Tyler, or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about, from Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Yeah, 1313.
1313. Sorry, I knew it was a prime number.
You're close.
Or 2 prime number. You know what I mean. Anyways, I don't think it's a good sign. I'm not like, I have no faith in this game whatsoever. I have no faith in EA to make a good Star Wars game. Sorry, I'm just going to say that. Like, they have yet to prove that they can make a good Star Wars game. The Battlefront games have not been good. And we haven't seen anything for this other unnamed one. I don't know. I don't know if this is the one they talked about last E3, the one they were going to show off, like, gameplay footage for at next E3, it seemed like. Isn't that kind of the hint?
That's the Respawn game.
Respawn one. I don't like to say Visceral. Yeah. But I don't think that's this game, but I don't know. I hope that game's good, but if that game's garbage, I hope Star Wars, or Disney pulls the license from EA, because it's just hurting them at that point. Like, how Star Wars seems like it should be one of the easiest things to make a good game for, and the fact that they can't do it really bothers me.
Well, I think it's one of the easiest and the hardest, because easy because there's so much stuff to work with, but hardest because there's so many expectations coming into any game, right?
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
So there's a ton of pressure. So, Graham, EA signed a 10-year deal with Disney ultimately for the Star Wars licensing exclusivity. So far, they've produced Star Wars Battlefront 1, and, the remake, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like, where do you rank this? So if you had to give it a grade, A through F so far, or a score, we'll say a score, 1 to 10, how would you say they're handling the license so far?
I'm going to go with a 4, because, maybe that's a little harsh, because I did kind of enjoy the campaign, but the online aspect of it, I did not like. They had that whole pay-to-play microtransactions, which significantly hurt them. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe when is this license over? How many more years of this do we have?
I want to say they signed in 2013 or 14. So we've got a little ways to go.
We've got a long ways yet. Well, I'm just hoping for their sake that they put out what the fans want. And, I was wondering the same thing. Is it because they just have too many options and they're trying to cover all grounds instead of just being, specific and stuff like that? The groundwork is there. The lore is there. So you don't have to do, that much. Especially, story. Just, like I said, maybe they just need a few things to focus on instead of trying to do the whole universe. Because whatever they're doing is not working out, and these people are leaving, whether they're just fed up and they had enough, or whatever the case is, I don't know. But it's sad to see this, because Star Wars is such a great franchise, and people were getting excited for these new games that are coming out, was supposed to be coming out, and they get canceled. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Hopefully they get their stuff together and they put out a great game that everybody wants.
Well, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've said that on the show before, and To the point where, like, I read a lot of the books, I watch YouTube videos of people that are, like, Star Wars experts on stuff, because I love gobbling up all the details of the lore, the universe, whatever. I'm waiting for Homer Simpson to drive by and yell, like, nerd at me, but still, I would kind of agree with you, Graham. I like 4 out of 10. I feel like both Battlefront games were Battlefield skins with Star Wars over them. And I'll say, like, overall, like, in terms of, like, fun factor, I enjoyed Battlefront, the first one, more than Battlefront 2. It was cool to hear the music and be in the environments and all that stuff again. I had more fun in the multiplayer in the first one than the second one. That said, the most fun I had in anything was in the campaign of 2 because I just, like, want to eat up more of the story. Steven, where are you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like you said it before. Like, it's a tutorial for the multiplayer, for the multiplayer. So it wasn't very good. And I didn't want to play any more of it, to be honest with you, because I didn't exactly love it. I just wanted to be done with it. I did it for the achievements because, I could play some Star Wars and whatever. But that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't really have much more to say on that. I hope that answers your question, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think the hope here is with the Respawn game, makers of one of my favorite games of the generation in terms of shooters, which is Titanfall. And Titanfall 2, which was also fantastic. And kind of got eaten up by all the games around it. But I think they have a chance to deliver something special, and they're not necessarily doing a shooter, they're doing something focused on Jedi, which I think could be really good. Hopefully. We'll see what they can do. But they've shown that they're able to deliver because these are the guys that left Infinity Ward after Modern Warfare 1 and 2. Which were both standout games in that franchise. So I think there's a lot of potential there. But who knows when we're getting that game, guys? It could be next year, it could be the year after. We don't know. It might be a launch title for the new consoles. We don't know. All we got was the Vince Zampella interview at E3, like just sitting in the crowd. No screenshots, no gameplay, no anything. So who knows how far away that game is. All right. Graham, I know you're super excited for the Intellivision Amico console that was revealed this week with a release date of 2020. So it's going to go head-to-head against the next generation Xbox and PlayStation consoles, most likely. The console is going to be between $150 and $180, with games costing between $3 and $8. Graham, have you pre-ordered it yet?
I have not pre-ordered it, and I can't say I will pre-order it, but I'm very curious how it will hold up against other consoles. The price for games, like that is real. You can't expect much for that price. So it almost comparable to like one of those controllers you get that you just like hook into TV and it just has a bunch of games into it. Like it's got like Pong and stuff like that. So
well, guess what the Intellivision Amico console is gonna have?
Yeah. So
Pong.
What's that?
Pong is going to be on.
Yeah.
That was confirmed.
So, Steven, you had an interesting take on this when we talked earlier in the week. Hopefully you remember it, because I'm putting you on the spot, but...
I do remember it. They said as much, but it's marketed towards families to compete. Mm-hmm. Like, it's something that families want to buy to play with their kids or whatever, rather than, like, for... They said hardcore gamers. I don't think that everyone that's buying a PlayStation and or Xbox is a hardcore gamer by any stretch of the imagination anymore. Mm-hmm. Like people that buy the main consoles. But, for $3, between $3 and $8, and the console doesn't seem that expensive either. They're going to get some buyers. Like I said, Pong's going to be on there. They're going to have a lot of old games. I think this is probably better to compete with like the NES Classic or the SNES Classic, based on the types of games that are going to be on there, but probably not as good as like the Legend of Zelda games or the Super Mario games. But I think there's a lot of games like Pong, or maybe what was that? The racing one.
Red Racer.
Well, just any of the racers. There's
Galaga,
I bet you a lot of those types of games are going to be on there. There's kind of a list already of games that come on the console itself. And there's a decent amount that start with. So you're not paying $150 and then have to buy a bunch of games. And all the games are going to be able to buy digitally. I do think there's going to be a good amount of people that buy this game. Or console, I should say. I won't be, but there might be some people that want to play some more retro games and they don't want to spend $1 million for, $500 for the console and $60 for one game when you could get a bunch of games for like $150 to $200. So we'll see. But I don't think this will fail. I just don't think it's going to be super successful. But it's not trying to compete with the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Switch even for that matter. So I don't think it's fair to compare it to those three because it's not doing any of that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think along with the games, as you said, Steven, I think we'll see a lot of like the educational type games, things like that, come onto this. I see this as something for families with young children.
Oh yeah.
So, like if you're like 13 and you're like, I want a gaming console, I want a PS4 and Xbox One, and you open up the Intellivision Amico, like you're gonna be pretty disappointed.
Angry kids.
Yeah, there might be a revolution in the household on Christmas, but it's not for them. I think it's for young children, families, all that type of thing. It's a low, entry barrier for price point, and definitely for games between $3 and $8. Are you kidding me? So you also get what you pay for, so don't expect a lot from those games. But I think for the market that it's aiming for, it'll probably do okay. It's just you're right, Steven. It is not a competitor to the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, or the Switch.
But it's also supposed to have like Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So I bet you're gonna be. It might act as almost like a Roku, in some ways.
Maybe.
Too.
That would be interesting.
That's a cheaper price to get into than a PlayStation or Xbox to get the full package, so you can play games and like have the functionality of like a Roku. Like then now you're talking that is a seller to families. I think if it can do both, especially with the amount of people cutting cables these days. So
yeah, absolutely. So hopefully it does well. I mean, I don't want to see anybody fail, right? So.
Sure.
I hope hopefully it does well and meets the needs of the market that it's aiming to hit. So, all right, finally in news, the Devil May Cry Ultra Limited Edition was announced this week.
No, I'm not buying it.
And Graham, I'm going to go to you first because you once almost spent like $18,000 on a Lord of the Rings box set.
I thought it was 20.
Maybe like 25. I don't know. No, we're not that far yet.
No.
But the Devil May Cry Ultra Limited Edition will cost you, depending on which one you get, which item of clothing
I want to know
designed to help you with cosplay. It'll cost you between $5,300 American and $8,000 American.
Seems like
Graham,
a reasonable price to me.
How many of these have you pre-ordered?
Oh, you know me. A bunch of them. They're limited edition, man. Ultra limited edition. How can you not buy as many as you can afford? Man, I even got my house up for mortgage for no. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And like, even if this is come with a cosplay costume, like this better be an amazing costume. It better have a button that transfers me or teleports me, or it's gonna have some magical capabilities, because this is insane. Like,
Graham,
when did you get to this point? It's like, I got this amazing idea. We're gonna sell it for $8,000.
Graham, you're going to a video game convention in Toronto in like a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. And first one, by the way, everybody that we were granted media access to, which is awesome. So thank all of you out there for that, helping us achieve that. But Graham's going. And Graham, there's a cosplay competition there where you can win a grand prize of $500. And for just $8,000, you can win $500.
Yeah, that would offset it. Like, dramatically, but what if I spent all that money and I didn't win? Like
Well, then you get good scrub.
That would be on you.
that would be on me. So
Yeah.
I don't think
Because if you invest that much and you don't win, that's kind of sad.
maybe it
just
was
saying.
maybe it was the acting on my side. I just didn't pull it
Yeah.
off.
So Steven, I know cosplay is like a huge deal at conventions. Like I personally know people that get super into it and they're awesome at it. But isn't $8,000 a little much?
Yes, I assume the people that get into cosplay could probably make the jacket. I think it was Dante's jacket that is the one for 8,000. Probably could make one that looks good and the rest of the costume for less than $8,000. I would hope so, at least. But yeah, that's ridiculous. However, I would like to go back to something Graham said. He said it was ridiculous, but we all know that if there was a Fallout Special Edition for $8,000 that came with a full suit of power armor, Graham would buy it.
Whoa.
Guaranteed.
Full suit.
Like guaranteed. If the full suit of armor came with this special
And
edition,
functional.
Graham
You don't-
would, yeah.
you
Not
don't know
like
me.
functional, but like work, like you could move around in it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like Graham would absolutely
Sell my
100%
carport.
buy it. No questions asked. It's not a question. It's how many he would buy is the question.
Yeah, he would take out loans for that.
You can't even deny it, Graham. You know damn well you would definitely think about it and probably you would pre-order one for sure. It's just whether you'd fulfill the pre-order or if you
Yeah.
go through with it.
Yeah. How many
Yep.
how many years would I have? Would I have a year?
But yeah, this is a little insane.
A little.
It's a lot insane. Yeah, you're right. $8,000 for a game pre-order just because it has a jacket in it? I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Keep you warm through the blizzards and such.
Yeah, Graham, you could have used that jacket in the last week.
I could have actually, yep.
And I bet it got so cold at some points that you were almost willing to spend $8,000 on a jacket.
No, not quite.
So,
I would have spent $500 on a ticket to go somewhere nice and warm.
yeah. But anyway, you can get that if you want for the low price of $8,000 for Dante's jacket. So get it on that, everybody, if you're really excited about that. But that's going to do it for news, everyone, and we're going to head into releases for the week.
Now, in
And
Steam.
we'll start with Xbox, where you can get Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition on the 30th. You can also get Lego Harry Potter Collection on the 30th and Super Pixel Racers on the 31st. Games of Gold. You still have a chance, not much time left to pick up Overcooked through the 31st. You can get Victor Vran through the 15th of November. And finally, Hitman Blood Money through backwards compatibility through the 31st of October. And I just want to mention before I throw it over to Steven for PlayStation that there's an awesome deal right now at GameStop where if you pick up Red Dead 2, you get $100 off of an Xbox console, including the Xbox One X. And that's a pretty sweet deal. So if
really, it's
you are
40
in the
off.
market, what's that?
Well, it's 40 off the console. Really.
Yeah, but it's $100 off the total transaction, right? So, yeah. So you get, but take $100 off that transaction, and you get an Xbox console. So if you're thinking like, hey, I'm thinking about picking up an Xbox One, this is almost as good of a deal as you're going to get, and I don't know if you're going to see anything better on Black Friday. So maybe take advantage of that if you're thinking about it. So, all right, let's go to Steven for PlayStation.
All right, all three come out on the 30th. You can get Kingdom Hearts, The Story So Far, which is the compilation of all the Kingdom Hearts games that have come to the PS4. You can get Dream Daddy Director's Cut. And then you can get Call of Cthulhu, the official video game. All of those, again, on the 30th. And like Tyler said, it's end of the month, so you only can get the PS Plus games for a little while longer, but you can get Laser League and Friday the 13th, the game, especially with Halloween coming up. You might want to look into that. Rambo, what do you got for Nintendo?
Well,
Yeah, right.
we got 3 big releases, in my opinion. Starting out on the 30th, you can get Lego Harry Potter Collection for the Nintendo Switch. You can also get Hasbro Game Night for Nintendo Switch on the 30th. And one of my favorites, which I'm debating whether I'm going to get this on the console because I think it's great for this console, and that is Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. And that will be available November.
All right, but no, good games for the Switch. And I think especially, Graham, the Hasbro Game Night. Like that, games like that are tailor-made for that platform.
Yeah.
So is Lego.
I think that'd be really good. So is Diablo. And honestly, I need Lego games. So really good games for that system to pick up. All right, let's turn over to Steven for questions. What do we have?
All right, first question from Jeff Franklin says, how do you feel about GameStop and Best Buy doing 9 p.m. Eastern releases of Red Dead Redemption 2? Many people will still get in prior to midnight after installing it, and digital people are locked out till midnight. I'm going to go first here. Being on the Pacific, it makes me a little upset because it's also being released, and I'm sure Central is probably not so happy as well, because 9 p.m. for me is 12 a.m. for them, but 9 p.m. Eastern for them is 6 for me. So people are getting it. Like, people have gotten it 2 hours ago and have probably been playing it. So that's annoying. It always annoyed me that game, like, midnight releases were actually midnight on the Pacific, because I'm like, people on the East have had this game for 3 hours already. It's not fair, okay? And I get life's not fair, but it just seems so stupid to me that was the case. And I like that they switched to the 12, 11, like 9, and I guess 10, because there are like 5 people that live in Mountain Time, or 10:37 release for those in that weird time zone up in Canada. But I mean, whatever. At this point, like, the game's installed, all the downloads have already updated, so there's pros and cons. And I don't have to get up off my butt to play a different game when I'm playing Red Dead because I have it digitally.
So let me ask you, Steven. At this point, does it really matter?
No, I don't.
Because we're currently sitting at
Half hour.
31 minutes until the game is available to play. So it doesn't really matter, right? We're recording the episode anyway, but I get it. Like, some people see that as like, oh, like the anticipation for this game is so high that even a couple hours like makes people
it's
like,
the principle
jealous
of the matter.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. Come on. That was it.
Graham?
Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of not fair. They should have it on even keel. If they're doing it at 9, then we should get it at 9. Like, I'm not saying it should be midnight. I think it should be 9. So, it's not really fair. I'm surprised you guys didn't try to go this route so you could play it 3 hours earlier.
I can't. I live on the Pacific. 9 o'clock Eastern doesn't make it 6 o'clock Pacific. It means it was still coming out at 9 o'clock.
There's a way around that anyway if you really want to. And that's just to go to set your time zone on your console differently. Like, you could have set yourself to New Zealand and played it 10 hours ago.
But
I don't think that's right. I think it was on a digital, like, what's it called? Like, release at the same time. So if it released at 12 o'clock Eastern, it releases on, like, the next day for New Zealand. So whatever 12 o'clock is in New Zealand time. That's how most games release. The only reason it worked for Forza was it was when it came to Game Pass, and it was the next day.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
New Zealand.
All right, stand corrected.
Yeah.
Graham, what else? Or Steven, what else do we got?
You guys didn't answer the question, but that's fine.
I did.
Okay. Nick the Bearcat asks, who do you want to win the World Series between the Bo Sox and the Dodgers?
Yeah, this is so he stressed the word want in this question. Because who I want to win and who I think is going to win are two totally different things, and they were before the series started, and they're even more that way now. I want the Dodgers to win. I just would love to see, like, somebody new. The Dodgers, everybody's like, oh, the Dodgers are super good. Dodgers haven't won a World Series in 30 years. Red Sox have won quite a few. So I would love to see the Dodgers win. That is not what I think is going to happen. It's not what I thought was going to happen before the series even started, and even more so now. Steven?
I don't care really. That both sets of fans can get on my nerves at times, especially where I live. But I just want to see a good series. Last year's World Series was phenomenal. What was it, game 6 or 5? The one that went like to 14 innings and was like 6 hours long. Like that was the best game of baseball I've watched in a long time.
It was game 5. We all kind of watched that together actually.
Yeah,
in chat, and it was amazing.
So good. And if we can get that again, so that means the Dodgers need to win probably the next 2 games, maybe the next 3. But as long as the games are good, I don't care. I just would rather not see the Red Sox sweep, which it's kind of looking that way. They were up 2-0 by the time of this recording, and by the time you listen, they might be up 3-0. We'll see. The managerial decisions by the Dodgers have been really stupid. But I don't know. I really don't care between the two. I guess if I had to pick one, gun to my head, it'd be the Dodgers, but we'll see.
Graham, you're a huge baseball fan. Your thoughts?
Massive. Well, I know it's usually the Red Sox and I don't know if it's the Yankees anymore, but it's always either one of them. I'd rather see the Dodgers, somebody different. Do I really care? Not really. I know the Red Sox got David Price from the Blue Jays. So
who got him from
But Graham, the Dodgers have the same basic color scheme as the Maple Leafs.
Oh,
that's true.
I'm saying Dodgers all the way.
Yeah.
No.
There you go. Graham's all about that color coordination.
That's right. I bleed blue and white.
This is a great question. I want to preface it by this. Spartan Rat or Hater, I don't know if I said the last part right, but he said, with your current level of hype so close to its release, and at this point it's really damn close, how much would someone have to pay you to never play Red Dead Redemption 2?
So, Steven, you and I went back and forth on this the other night. How much, right now?
Let's start with Graham.
Currently, okay, Graham, 26 minutes from release. How much would somebody have to pay you to never play this game?
Well, I'm going to make it worth my while, so I'll say 500.
Tyler, you're answering this question next.
Okay. A lot more than $500.
Yes, a lot more than that.
I honestly, man, this is... Because I wouldn't have had the money anyway. So, when I think about the excitement level I have for this game, which honestly I haven't had for a game in a long time, man, you're talking in the tens of thousands of dollars. I'm going to go with... call me crazy. I'm going to say 50 grand. Steven, go.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at 100 grand. It has to be life-changing money at that point. And yes, 50 grand, I'd probably do it for 50, but it'd be really, really close. It's not worth it for anything less than 10. And then at that point, it's I still don't know if it'd be worth it to me to never play a game. I mean, okay, it should be, logically speaking, to not play a game for as low as 500. If someone gave me $500 to not play a game, I guess, well, it just depends how much you value money and value your time. Let's go economics here. But yeah, I'm probably going closer to 100, 75, maybe the lowest. Yeah, that I know, Graham. That's way more than yours, but yeah. 100 grand.
So, Graham, the reason I say it, and I think Steven will be with me on this, I don't know, but to me, life's about experiences and shared experiences and all that stuff. And nobody has, to my knowledge, I might be wrong, I'm sure I am in a case or two, but nobody's on their deathbed thinking about how much money they made. Right? People are at that point thinking about oh, what are some of the great things I've done, blah, 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 and experiences I've had, et cetera, et cetera. Not that I'm going to be thinking about Red Dead 2 on my deathbed, but, I would rather have the experience of something that I enjoy and look forward to so much, than the other option. And, and it's hypothetical. It might be different if you put $1,000 in front of me and said, seriously, you can have this if you never play this game. like that turns into a different thing. But in a hypothetical environment like we're in, sure, I'll stick with my answer.
Yeah, and $500 to me is not worth missing what is potentially one of the best games of the generation, if not the greatest game of the generation, and one of the best games of potentially all time. I mean, right now on Metacritic, I'm not saying Metacritic's like the sole defining factor of it. And again, I haven't played the game yet, but by all accounts, it does seem like it might be one of the best games ever. And it wouldn't be worth missing that for $500, because what does $500 really get you? Like, that's not even rent for me. So no, it wouldn't be worth it for that. Like less than a month's rent. No, not doing it. And I can make that argument all the way up to about $100,000 for why it wouldn't help. And even at $100,000, like, again, yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. Once that $100,000's gone, what do you really have? Unless you're buying other experiences with it. But I don't know. Anyways, that was kind of a long answer to a short question, but we can move on.
No, we just thought it was a great question. Kudos.
We did. That was phenomenal. Xbot Toss asked, do you all still go to midnight releases at GameStop? But you can do anywhere, basically. He said, I haven't been in a while, but part of me misses the days of hanging out with fellow gamers that were hyped for the game. The good old days, as he said. I'll go first here.
Sure.
The last one I went to was for the God of War console, and it was because I really wanted the PS4 Pro. And MLB The Show was out at that time, and I had sold my PS4 to get the extra bonus because GameStop was like ending like a deal on it, and you can get like an extra $50 or $100 in credit. So I was like, I'm not gonna pass it up for a week. So I was fiending, but it was funny. I went to GameStop, right, and like I had college classes that night, and I went right after class, and I was waiting in line, and I heard my name, and I'm like, I look. And it was the math teacher I had like an hour before at the same GameStop, and that just cracked me up. And that was my little funny story. I don't know. I just found that hilarious that she was there. She was picking up the same thing, the console as well, with the God of War edition. So that was funny. But yeah, I'm kind of, I'm not gonna say an introvert, but like, I don't necessarily talk to people I don't know all that well. I'm not good at it, so I never really talked to other gamers when I was at the midnight releases. I kind of was just there to get my game and go home and play. So I didn't have the fun of hanging out, but I'm sure people that went with the group looked like they were having fun.
Graham?
So I've only been to 2 in my whole life. First one was Fallout 4, and that was a cool experience. Like, kind of like you guys are saying, being around fellow gamers and stuff like that. You know what they're there for. And Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider was actually released same time. Some people were there to get both. At the time, I couldn't afford both, so I just went for Fallout. And the other one, I went for the midnight release of the Nintendo Switch. And like, I didn't even know if I was going to get it. When I was there, I was like 3 back from everyone who got tickets, but luckily there was a few I think there's 10 extra ones or something like that they found. I say that in quotation marks. So I got that, and I got Breath of the Wild. So you can say I got Breath of the Wild on midnight release as well, and that was an awesome experience. I just remember when I came home, and I think I hooked up. I don't remember because I had work next day, and this was probably like 2 a.m. when I got home. So I don't even know if I got to play it, which would have sucked, but at least it was waiting for me there the next day. Yeah. And if I could relive those days, I would, because that was a great experience. So hopefully I get to relive that with Red Dead 2.
All right. So for me, as far as like, do I go to them anymore? No. As I've said on the show before, I think we live now in the like era of convenience, and I'm guilty of that as well. Like, I get almost everything digitally. So I've got it sitting here for me digitally, waiting to play in just a few minutes. But like Steve and I were talking about this earlier in the week, and I shared a story that you thought was kind of good, so I'll share it here real quick. But like, I was working in like retail management, and I was on overnights, and it was for the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And we had like a crowd there. So a lot of people around, like they commandeered all the like, they're called Big Joe chairs, like the beanbag chairs and stuff like that. We're like sitting in the middle, like right in front of electronics, waiting for this game. So cool, like everybody's being awesome, whatever. And this kid comes up to me. He's probably like, I don't know, 19-ish, somewhere there. And he's got like tears in his eyes. And I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, somebody stole my wallet. And I've saved up for like months to get this game. And like, I don't know what to do. So, okay. I'm in charge there. So I have to kind of make a decision. So at this point, it's like, I don't know, somewhere around 15 minutes to midnight, maybe a little bit less, when we put the game out. So I got everybody together, and I just made an announcement, like, hey, this guy has wallet stolen. Here's how this is going to go down. If it's returned to him by midnight, then cool. No harm, no foul. He doesn't want to, like, press charges or anything. He just wants the game. He's really excited for it. And all that. If not, I'm not selling a copy to anybody. And we're going to have the sheriff department for, this county come out here and figure this out. And I got my phone right here, and I'll call them. And it was a super small town like 3,000 people, all that stuff. So I see this lady, like, walking, like, speed walking, like the old ladies at the mall in the early morning, like, speed walking towards the front door. And I'm like, okay, you're interesting to me now, so I'm going to follow you. So I watch her. She goes to her car, comes back, and she's got his wallet. And she's like, well, I just found it. I didn't know whose it was. And, I just wanted to keep it safe till I returned. I'm like, okay. Yeah, you kept it safe in your car. I open up the wallet, and it's got, like, it's mostly, like, 1s and 5s in there. Like, the kid wasn't lying. He was, like, saving up everything he could to get this game. And we're able to give it back to him, have the midnight launch as planned. And that was really cool. Like, that was one of those days where you feel really good about what you do at work. Just to see that guy be, like, so happy and thankful to get the game. Like, he was just so happy to get Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And so I remember that as a midnight release. So I totally get it for people that really look forward to those things and enjoy them, all that stuff. I'm in the mode now where I'm like, I can get this digitally and just sit on my couch and wait for it. So that's what I do.
Oh, yeah. And then you don't have to worry about installing it, because now, especially now, like, you have to buy the game and then you don't get to play it because you have to come home and install it. And that sucks. So digitally is awesome because you have it installed and you don't have to leave, and it wastes no time. And then also, again, I'm lazy and I don't like getting up to change the games, and I've not played games I've kind of wanted to play because I didn't want to get my butt off the couch. That's happened. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I'm not that proud of it either. That's kind of where I'm at. So we got time for a couple more questions, so go ahead. Okay. Let's go with Boss Man Booth. He said, what's the most money you put into a game through microtransactions and DLC? And what game?
I don't even want to think about it. I don't know. It's easily Madden, whatever year, 15 or this year. Probably 15. I haven't put as much into this year, but yeah, I don't even want to think about the number. What do you guys go ahead?
Steven?
Yeah, mine was probably $500 to $800 in Smite, mostly on cosmetics and voice packs. And because I played that game a lot, so it was worth it to me. Yeah, that's me. Graham?
Mine, not guessing. I know for sure. It would have been NHL last year playing Ultimate Team. It was the first time I played Ultimate Team. So over the course of having the game, I'm guessing around $300. Might be a little less. I'm not exactly sure.
All right. Last question, Steve. What do we got?
Let's see here. All right, here's one. KCS, since one person won the $1.6 billion lottery, what would you do with that kind of money?
I don't even know, man. I can't think about that type of money. I think after taxes, I got like $900 million. That's insanity. I don't even know what to think about with that. Certainly, I would never work another day, ever. Not to say I would just sit around. I would do something that I'm really passionate about. But I would never work to make someone else rich ever again. That would be my answer.
I would continue doing what I'm doing in my line of work. And I know we've had a talk like this the last time the lottery was big off air, and a couple people, one of them's in the party, thought that I was crazy for that statement.
I think you're crazy, and I still don't believe you.
I would, absolutely, because I'd be bored. It'd be bored out of my mind if I just sat at home doing nothing.
Do 1.6 billion other things.
Yeah, but I'd invest most of it. I'd buy a decent car. I'd buy a house. I'd invest a lot of it, and I would kind of make it so I get paid like weekly instead of just have $1 billion to play with, because that's how you end up broke after 5 years. I'd invest a lot into the show as well. Probably do a lot of crazy giveaways because we could. So I don't know. That's just me. Graham?
I could just think about different scenarios so many times, stuff like that. I would definitely give a lot to charity and my family and stuff like that. There's no way in hell that I would keep my job and work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever. But I would be enjoying life, and all the people around me would be enjoying life. And yeah, there's no way I would keep my job. You'd be crazy.
Yeah, so Graham, I'm with Steven a little bit. Like, I wouldn't do nothing.
Well, no,
I wouldn't just like
there's
travel
no
and do whatever.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, like I said, I would stop working like crazy to make someone else much more rich than me. That said, I would do something I'm passionate about. So I'd probably put a lot of money back in the show as well. And we'd probably be on Twitch like 24/7. So, yeah.
All right, no more questions.
Dare to dream, though.
All right. Steven's ready for Red Dead, everybody.
10 minutes. Well, actually,
we got like 11 minutes
by
by my PC here. So, all right, everyone. That's going to do it for questions for the week. And if you send in a question, you're automatically entered to win our monthly giveaway, which we do the last episode of every single month, which, by the way, will be next week. So, if you send in a question, you're automatically entered to win. The rules are you have to listen to the episode, hear your name said, and then contact us through Facebook, Discord, whatever, email to say, hey, I won, and we'll get you the prize for winning. We'd love to have you join the community. There's a few different ways to do that. Like I said, Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums on Facebook. You can go to Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub on Twitch. From either of those places, Twitch or Facebook, you can get a link to our Discord, where we have a lot of good conversation going on all the time. We have specific channels dedicated to games like Red Dead and Madden, where we have a franchise going on. We still have open spots, by the way, so if anybody's looking for a Madden franchise on Xbox One, you're more than welcome to join. Just go to Facebook or Discord and fill out the form there, and we'll get you in. If you want to help support the show, there's a few different ways to do that. So Twitch, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. And if you choose to spend that on us at no cost to you, we'd really appreciate that. Helps us grow, achieve the things we want to, and bring you better and better content over the next few months. If not, spend it on somebody. Help them grow and achieve their goals. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/gaminghub. And for entering as little as $5 a month, you get an extra clue per month you get an extra clue per month for $2 and up for our holiday giveaway. And for as little as $5 a month, you're entered to win our monthly giveaway for patrons only, which is for $60 to spend on your favorite system on anything you want, whether it's games, movies, music, whatever it might be. You're entered to win that as well. Plus, there's other benefits there. You can check all those out at patreon.com/gaminghub. And like I said, we'll have the patron exclusive clue up no later than tomorrow for all of our patrons to see for the month of October. You can also follow us on YouTube, the Gaming Hub Podcast there, and on Twitter at TXH Gaming Hub there as well. We have an email, the Gaming Hub Podcast at gmail.com for any feedback, questions, comments, etc. We respond to pretty much everybody, so we'd love to have you contact us there as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for episode number 130. We'll be back next week with episode 131. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Play some great games, and one in particular that we're about to play. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great week, everybody.
Play Red Dead 2, everyone who plays.
Yes, Red Dead.
Bye, everybody.
Later.